When humans get drunk, they can do anything. Four brothers stole a tiger, and even managed to put the tiger in the stolen police car. They even engaged in some intimate activities with the tiger. The director even invited boxing champion Tyson for a cameo. This drunken scene was so crazy that not even 8 dishes could match it. Just 2 days before Doug's wedding ceremony, the four brothers drove their Mercedes-Benz towards, heading to the sinful city of Las Vegas. They planned to have an unforgettable bachelor party together, and keep the upcoming wild night forever in their hearts. On the rooftop of the hotel, they raised their glasses together to toast to Doug's last moments of bachelorhood. But after downing that drink, the next day when they woke up, they didn't need to deliberately hide any secrets, because they couldn't remember anything that happened last night. Even the presidential suite was not spared. They had no idea what unforgettable moments they experienced. Alan, half asleep and half awake, looked at the tiger lying in the bathroom, not knowing if he took a little step forward and peed into the hole. After a long reflex arc, it finally reached their brains. And they finally woke up. Stu, in a panic, discovered that his incisor tooth was missing. Doug, the groom-to-be, also disappeared along with Stu's missing incisor tooth. When they tried calling him, nobody answered, and they couldn't find Doug in their hotel room. However, they stumbled upon an unexpected baby instead. They were perplexed about what they had experienced the previous night. As they went downstairs, they discovered that someone had thrown mattresses off the hotel roof. The hotel staff brought their stored vehicles. Vehicles turned out to be a police car. The brothers started their quest to recover their lost memories. Stealing a police car was a criminal act, akin to masturbating on an airplane, but their throbbing headaches prevented them from recalling what had happened. Phil noticed a bandage on his hand, which had a hospital address written on it. They hurried to the hospital and found the doctor who treated them that day. The doctor confirmed that all four of them had arrived together and that their blood contained traces of a sedative. However, the doctor couldn't identify who had drugged them. They recalled coming from a church and someone getting married. Following the clues, they reached the church, where the priest greeted them with great joy. He couldn't forget the unforgettable events of the previous night. They explained that they had blacked out and had no memory of what had transpired. However, the priest showed them a photo that made Stu uneasy. It was his wedding picture. Doug was his groomsman, and Stu had apparently married a stripper named Jade. Stu had gone to great lengths to prove his love, even ordering many couple-themed items, but he had no recollection of this mysterious woman. The three brothers had no choice but to continue following the clues to find Jade and discover what had happened to Doug. Indeed, Jade greeted Stu warmly and called him her husband. The baby they found was also Jade's child. Stu noticed the wedding ring on Jade's hand, which happened to be a family heirloom. It seemed that Stu had genuinely married her. Suddenly, 2 armed police officers burst into the scene. The three brothers were taken to the police station, where they discovered that the vehicle they had stolen was actually a police car. Phil quickly requested the officers' understanding, explaining that they had blacked out and had no recollection of their actions. The officer, concerned about his reputation, didn't want to publicly admit that his car had been stolen by them. Coincidentally, there was a school conducting an extracurricular educational activity nearby. The officer asked Phil and the others to play the role of criminals and demonstrate the real effects of being hit by a taser gun to the students. This arrangement satisfied the officer's ego, and he even helped them locate their stolen Mercedes-Benz. They hurried to the parking lot, where the vehicle appeared to be undamaged. However, they heard some movement coming from the trunk. Could it be that Doug was locked inside? But to their surprise, when they opened it, a naked man jumped out and attacked them. After a brutal beating, the man fled, leaving the completely clueless. Alan finally confessed that he had spiked the drinks with drugs, although he had intended to use something strong rather than a sedative. With no leads left, they reluctantly returned to the hotel to regroup and come up with a new plan. As they entered the room, they were astonished to find the imposing figure of boxing legend Mike Tyson sitting there. Mike Tyson, renowned for his punching power, could knock out a bull with a single punch. The brothers were initially thrilled to see him, but within seconds, Tyson knocked them all out with a single blow. It turned out that the tiger in the hotel was Tyson's pet, and he wanted to find out who had the audacity to steal it. To return the tiger safely, Alan used the remaining sedatives and mixed them into some meat. They managed to load the unconscious tiger into the car and finally returned it to Tyson's mansion. After showing them the surveillance footage from his home, Tyson revealed a disturbing scene that was hard to watch. The brothers were caught on camera openly taking the tiger. To everyone's surprise, Phil even made some inappropriate gestures towards the tiger. Feeling embarrassed, the group quickly bid farewell to Tyson. On their way back to the hotel, they were involved in a car accident. To their astonishment, the person who got out of the other car was none other than the naked man they had previously found in the trunk. He turned out to be Mr. Chow, the notorious gang leader. Mr. Chow said that Phil and the others stole his $80,000 from the casino the previous night. He threatened to harm the hostage if they didn't return the money. It was revealed that Phil had been kidnapped by Mr. Chow, and seeing him alive brought some relief to the group. However, the $80,000 became a problem. Stu only had $10,000. It was a critical moment when Alan, in his eccentricity, stepped forward. With his extraordinary intellect, he devised a plan to visit the gambling city and attempt to make a fortune in one night. Alan proved to be exceptional, with astonishing mental calculation abilities that allowed him to accurately predict all the cards. The group experienced a winning streak until they caught the attention of casino security, prompting them to flee. In the end, they made more than $80,000. They arrived at a desert location for the hostage exchange as agreed upon. Mr. Chow received the money and released the hostage, bringing great joy to the group. With only 5 hours left until Doug's wedding, they finally found the person they had been searching for. However, when the hood was removed, everyone was dumbfounded. The person turned out to be Black Doug, not their beloved friend Doug. Alan recognized him as the person from whom he had purchased the strong drugs. Mr. Chow had mistakenly thought they were all working together, leading to the kidnapping. The leads once again reached a deadlock, and Black Doug realized that he had taken the wrong bag, sold the wrong medication. He felt that Alan had gotten a good deal because sedatives were much more expensive. After taking them, one would feel euphoric and floaty. Upon hearing this, Stu suddenly remembered something. Yes, Doug must be on the roof. That's why someone was throwing mattresses from the rooftop. To give them a hint, the group hurried back to the hotel, and they could only open the door to the rooftop from the inside. Finally, they found Doug sleepwalking. They quickly drove home with Doug to save time. To expedite their journey, Phil contacted his friend, who halfway brought them 4 sets of clothes. When they put on the new clothes, they actually looked presentable. The 4 brothers finally rushed back just moments before the wedding started. The wedding went perfectly, and the group reminisced about this unforgettable experience. In the back seat of the Mercedes, Alan found a camera, which contained photos documenting their entire night. It was the perfect touch to the whole movie, although many explicit photos were censored due to their mature content. So, please be cautious when viewing them. Dear audience,